topic is going to be centered focused on Sam Howell. All right, Sam Howell is the biggest question mark. I know we mentioned offensive line, but he is literally the biggest question mark of our whole team, and he's playing the most valuable position of our whole team. In that same position, we've been playing musical chairs with this position for years now. All right, so we got to talk about our expectations for Sam Howell. So, Mike, you're going to kick us off on this one.
Okay.
What are your expectations for Sam Howell this year?
Well, I mean, after that, the last game of the season against the Cowboys, not to mention we did get that dub. I mean, it just showed, all right, I have a high expectation for him moving on this season just because of what he did, in that last game of the season. And quite frankly, I mean, I know it wasn't like a spectacular game like a Tom Brady or, Patrick Mahomes kind of game, but he did enough to able to secure the win. So, I mean, one thing I like about him, even dating back to North Carolina, I mean, the guy he got a cannon. The boy can throw. And he's not afraid to throw it. Also, he's not afraid to take a hit and dish out a hit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, just moving forward, it's no going back or regressing back. I mean, worst case scenario, that's where we got Jacoby Brissett to come in. I mean, but it all rides on Sam Howell and what he does in these next couple games moving forward. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, man. So, like, Sam Howell, all right, I have mixed feelings about Sam Howell. Now, this is what I know. I know that like you said, Mike, he's talented. He can make every throw. All right. I seen him in college. I went back and watched him in college, and he showed me that he could make the difficult throws.
Mm-hmm.
He can make the deep ball throw. Right. He makes good decisions. There wasn't a lot of times I watched him in college and I was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" There wasn't a lot, times I saw that. I know he's a dual threat. So not only he can throw the ball, I mean, his first year, he didn't really show his running ability in college. And then once he lost all his weapons, he showed us he had legs. Like, oh, snap, he can run too. So we know that. What I also know is this. I know that, or I don't know. I feel like Sam Howell is that type of quarterback that in the beginning of his NFL career, because he has a talent, right? But in the beginning of his NFL career, he needs to be in a good situation. Yeah. All right. He need to grow in a good situation. We talked about the offensive line, but I still think he's in a good situation. I mean, you look at our team. We got Eric Bieniemy. Let's start there. First of all, he got the defense to back him up. Any young quarterback loves a good defense. All right. It's not a lot of pressure on them to carry that team. So Sam Howell won't be pressured to carry us. You got Eric Bieniemy, Super Bowl champ, offensive coordinator for that Super Bowl team, who's also got to prove himself too. I'm going to circle back around Eric Bieniemy. But look at the team we got offensively, though, the weapons we got. I mean, the 49ers were called a yak team last year. I think we're going to have a spot in that conversation.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like Terry McLaurin, with the ball in his hands, he can do a lot. Jahan Dawson returned punts in college. He's actually returned the punts in training camp, too. All right, so he's good with the ball in his hands. Curtis Samuel, we know what he can do with the ball in his hands. De'Ami Brown is a speedster. All right. Mm-hmm. Then you got Brian Robinson, who's showing off his catching ability in training camp. And do I got to say much about Antonio Gibson? I know Tomo in the background with the comments, with the producer, but he was calling him the Cowboy Killer. All right, that 1 year in 2020. All right, 5 touchdowns I think against the Cowboys that year. So we got weapons, and Eric Bieniemy with the West Coast offense. That's a lot of quick throws, and it can do a lot of the read option, all that stuff, right? RPO. So RPO. So I think that he's in a good situation to succeed and to have a good season. Now, my expectations for him, I think his floor this year, right? It's kind of like, okay, I don't think he's gonna be bad. I think he could be good. Can't think of an example, right? I would say like a Baker Mayfield-ish type quarterback this year. I can see that. All right. And then his ceiling, I don't see him wowing people saying like, oh my God, he's a top 3 quarterback, but he could potentially have numbers for top top 7 quarterback. The numbers because of the weapons we got, a lot of yak yards and stuff like that. So I think he'll have a good year. I think he'll have a good year because he won't be asked to carry us. Now he will have to make key throws and key moments in the full court and stuff like that. But I think he can do that. He showed that in college too.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's going to be really good. I even had to go back. I wasn't really a big Sam Howell fan when we drafted him. I had to go back to see.
Same here.
Shout out to Carl. I had to ask Carl about Sam Howell for real.
Don't talk to Carl about Sam Howell. He don't know what
Yeah, Carl just killed him, and it's just like, dang, we drafted this guy. He's not even that good. And then like lately, since the end of last season, knowing that he was going to be the starter, I've watched almost every game he played at North Carolina, and he I could see why his first year they was saying he might go number 1 overall. In the second year, how he dropped because he had to do more. Then the third year it was just he had to do a lot more because he had nothing.
Nothing.
So with the weapons being gone, he had to do more. Now we're not asking him to do more. We're just asking you to manage the game for now. We're not asking you to win the game. It's gonna be nice. You're gonna go out there and have to come back in the fourth quarter. Like it may be a night when you do got to win the game for us, but that's not like what we're asking for. That's not like you ain't got to go and do this day in and day out. And as a quarterback, you want that moment anyway. And they say he's not the most vocal person, but he's like he does it. Like he's a lead by example type guy, which is it's not bad. I feel like he's gonna develop more vocal as the season go on. But I really do got I got high expectations for Sam Howell. I don't see him like what was Jalen Hurts' numbers last year as a quarterback? He threw how many touchdowns did he throw? Not run.
Like 20 something.
So I got Sam Howell matching that same number for real. So I don't even understand. I really do have that. I got those numbers. I feel like because of the way the run game is set up, what we have in the run game is going to open up a lot of plays for Sam Howell. It will be a lot of deep balls for Sam Howell this year because he's really good at that. Like he had the most air yards last year of one throw than any quarterback we had throw the ball last year. So Sam Howell, I feel like he's going to be good. Not the best, he's gonna have top 10 numbers, but he won't be a top 10 quarterback next year. I give him top 15. He will have a good season now.
Yeah, and I think I know Mark. You always preach this to the run game. Every enemy is a running back coach at heart. And Brian Robinson, man, I think people underestimate the type of season he had last year. We're talking about a dude in his rookie year, not a field of the NFL yet, gets shot, didn't play until week 5 for real, and still almost had 1,000 yards. Well, I'm not gonna say almost. He had like 700 yards, right?
Over 700, 750, something like that.
700. Missing 5 games though. All right, so that's 1,000-yard back if he played a full season in his rookie year with the terrible offense we had. I watched him against the Giants, averaging 12 yards a carry, and they didn't even throw the ball to him again and give him the ball no more. So Brian Robinson's a dog, a motivated, hungry back. And then Antonio Gibson he just got to prove himself this year.
I think Antonio Gibson did enough last season to prove himself. He didn't fumble that one time.
Yeah, he didn't fumble, but
that was his issue, was the fumbling issue. The way I like the way Antonio Gibson run because sometimes, this vision, he ain't got the best vision in the world, but he looked to see what he can take. And if he was in college, every 6 times he touched the ball, he scored. So I can't say nothing bad about somebody's vision who does that, like in college. So he didn't even average a lot of catches, a lot of runs. It's just that the 6 times he touched the ball, he scored every time in college. So it was probably a higher number than that. Actually, he was just a magnet to the end zone. So he knows lanes.
Mm-hmm. And
I was gonna say, just speaking on Gibson and Brian, I believe they were saying they're gonna rock with Brian as the starter.
Yeah,
I know Gibson wants to pursue more route running and doing more receiving plays. So I think he would be more considered as the third down back, and which to my eyes, that's actually perfect in a sense, especially with this offensive coordinator.
Yeah. Yeah. And then everybody, Jahan Dotson, Terry McLaurin, you talk to any of their receivers, they're being asked, okay, what's the difference between last year and this year? Well, I do want to bring up last year, by the way. Last year, right? Well, I go last year, next topic. But last year, we were terrible offensively, right? In the passing game. And they're saying like this year, every enemy is putting us in situations where we're catching the ball in open space. So like I said, like they are going to every enemy understands the talent the receivers have, and we need to use it. I feel like we only used Curtis Samuel like that last year. We put him in open space and he did his thing. We didn't even use Antonio Gibson like that. Like which they said we're gonna use Antonio Gibson to help, and they didn't even do it last year. Like Scott Turner, man,
Curry Samuels was having more touches than a running back. I'm like, what is that?
Curry Samuels getting the most touches out of everybody early in the season. When Wentz was a starting quarterback, he was getting the most touches. I'm thinking like, what's going on? Soon he put Taylor Heinicke in the game. He looked for Terry McLaurin. And that's what I like about Sam Howell. That Cowboys game, his first throw was to who? Terry McLaurin. And it was a touchdown. Oh,
it was a drop. The second one was a touchdown. It was a drop.
Oh, the second one, bad.
Terry McLaurin dropped the first one.
First time, McLaurin loved what he was talking about now. He was just like, man, the quarterbacks I had in the past, man, I had to like literally kind of slow down and like look for the ball. Well, how I have to really put on my jets and run it down. So he's like, man, this is a plus.
That's literally what I was about to say. We were on the same page. I was literally about to just say that same thing.
That's like a catch he had in training camp. Well, somehow, he had to like go forward one hand. He go. All right, I'm ready, man. All right. Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.